So today I wanted to share with you a car that was so pivotal in my relationships with vehicles as a young boy. So the 1977 Pontiac Trans Am was made popular by the movie Smokey and the Bandit. And this is my 1977 Trans Am. And this car in particular, this isn't just an example of a car that I saw as a young kid. This particular car was owned by my parents' neighbor. He bought it brand new in 1977. I used to watch him wash and wax this car in his driveway as a kid. And for 40 years he owned this thing. As you can see, he kind of let things go a little bit as far as the body goes, but he always repaired the car mechanically, and he always took it to a shop that I used to work at called Fry's Automotive. And in 2017, he called them up. He needed to get the car towed. It wasn't running. It had a coolant leak. They went ahead and diagnosed it. Needed a radiator and a fuel line. They called him up with the estimate, and he said, "You know what? I'm done." That was it. He had had enough of the car. So they called me. They're like, "You're not going to believe this. Don wants to get rid of his car." So immediately I'm like, I don't need this car. I've already got a 78. And the reason I have the 78 is because of this car. But it was one of those cars that I knew that if I didn't buy it, I would hate myself more for not buying it than I hate myself for buying it. So when I first got this thing, my plan was, as it is with everything almost, it was to LS swap it, and I was going to run it in the very last C2C Express, a Cannonball race from New York to LA. I thought that'd be a really cool story to do this in such an important car to me. But when I went and saw the car, I couldn't believe how original and unmolested it was. I mean, literally everything is here. The air conditioning, the cruise control is still hooked up. Usually these cars got hacked up by idiots like me that were like hot rodding them and stuff. Like, you just don't find a car like this all original. And what's so cool about this car is, while it looks really ratty, it actually drives like it's brand new. It doesn't squeak, it doesn't rattle. Everything works as it's supposed to. The air conditioning works, for crying out loud. So it just came to a point where I couldn't even modify it. I couldn't even do anything to it. And you know, it obviously needs a restoration, but I love the car just the way it is. This car actually gets more attention than my restored 78. So naturally, me being me, I couldn't completely leave it alone. So since I'm driving the car around with this patina and it's kind of ratty, I kind of went with like a Joe Dirt kind of theme. So I threw an old CB antenna on the back. I got a full 3-way boom box that I threw in the back of the thing. So I'm just rolling around jamming REO Speedwagon. I throw on my mullet wig, and you know, I just kind of roll around like I was Joe Dirt. So this is just one of those cars that I couldn't let pass me by. It's something that I had to experience, and I really don't have any plans for it other than to just roll with it the way it is. Everything works fine. It's slow as all get out. What's funny is in 1977, this was like the hottest performance car ever, and now any car made would pretty much wipe the floor with it. But I love it for what it is.